Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? It's your boy Jeremy Alexander Newsome with reallifetrading.com. I am back from Colorado. I'm actually here in New York City right now, in Manhattan near 92nd and Amsterdam. So if you guys are in the New York City area and you're listening to this, email me. Let's see if we can meet up sometime Sunday morning. Got a real life trader who's a chef who has a restaurant over in Brooklyn. So we are planning to go over there and hang out with him and a few other real life traders. So anyway, just kind of hit me up. Markets today up bigly, 1.6% on the SPY. So this trade right here is one I was looking at just yesterday with a break above that resistance. A bullish stop limit entry at 274. And the stop, either aggressive stop right below the low of yesterday or conservative stop a little bit lower. And again, this candle, this is a wick that I was looking at just yesterday in the morning and afternoon swing trading rooms, which was Thursday. So anyway, SPY, really good pop, gorgeous move. Here is the 100 simple moving average, and of course you can see we just traded right down to that beauty and bounced like a pro. 297.40 is still my target on the SPY. Late March, early April, looking more like May possibly, but still a target for sure. I do have an iron condor on the SPY, and I did not necessarily expect the April 285, 286 portion to go under, to be in trouble. But what I'm looking at right now is a potential and pretty obvious double bottom that's forming on the SPY here. So what could easily occur is we trade up like this, we pull back sometime mid-May, or I'm sorry, late March, and then we start bouncing a little bit. And that is entirely possible on the SPY, because realistically we did exactly that S curve, right? We S curved down to the 100, we bounced, that was a dip buying opportunity, tried it here once, lost there, tried it there twice, and boom goes the cannon. In fact, one of the best setups we did recently was on the IWM. So the last 2 weeks it's just been sensational. IWM here, you had this high wave candle, right? And I had it set up on the 1st of March. In fact, let me just go ahead and roll that tape for you right now. Massive and very interesting high wave candle. So this is one of those exact examples. I drew this yesterday. I said, hey guys, let it retest the 100 and look for it to roll over. Right? That was Mr. Squiggles from yesterday. Because the IWM was a little bit more bearish than all the other ETFs yesterday. So if you come over here to a 15-minute chart or an hourly chart, this is the market open, trades up to that level. Here's your evening star reversal pattern, and if you're getting in there with a stop above here, even if it's just one put option, I did have 2 traders who did that on the IWM, or something very close to that. And again, just a quick trade, boom, boom, make an R, make 2 Rs, and move on. That's fine. So IWM, we'll figure out what happens. And again, if we trade back down to here, very nice. I love this high wave candle on the IWM. We will keep tabs on it, but I would love a bullish close above here. Give me 1 second. Bullish end of day close. So if we close above here, it's going to be a little bit more bullish. And if we close below this low, we're going to be a little bit more bearish for the very next day. End of day bearish, B-E-R-S-H, for 1 to 2 days. Probably gaps down and fades the next day. What the heck do I mean by that? So again, puts are going to be really quick in this market, because I do not think this is the top of the market. I think this is just a rest. I think this is a rest that we needed. What I mean by if it closes below here, so let's say we close below here tomorrow, it'll be very similar to this candle, right? Next day it'll gap down to like there, and then it will fade higher. Interesting about the IWM is this one did close above that high wave candle today. This one closed above here. So if you're looking at, and again, this is kind of a wide stop. It just depends on how you're playing it, is what I will say. But now, since you got to close, if you're looking at a pullback on the IWM, you could likely get a pullback, a little bit of a limit buy off the 100. And I think that it's a pretty easy buy the dip Again, this green circle is where I was looking at going bullish if it was going to happen. Bull put spreads. Don said he sold some puts. I like the candle, and we'll see what's going to happen. So that was the setup on the 1st of March on the IWM, and said, hey, let's get a close above the high of that candle. So the close occurred on the 2nd, right? And then on the 2nd, you'll notice, well, on the 2nd, after that close, above the 100, above the high of the candle, I simply said, let's do a limit buy off of that resistance from the 1st of March. 151.56. The low of the candle on March the 5th was 151.47. So it triggered that entry by 9 cents. And that was one that didn't have to even be around for it to work out. This was when I was hitting the slopes in Keystone, Colorado. That one triggered, and pretty much, again, all of this week just crushing it higher on the IWM. So realistically, coming back to a very close target on that particular index. Here's NVDA, and NVDA also had a really good bounce off of a moving average. I mean, what? Who would think to buy off of the 100, I'm sorry, the 50 exponential moving average? So we did do a bullish trade on NVIDIA. Some real life traders and myself, we got in bullish here with a stop here, and we exited about there for a small gain. And then we looked to buy again off of the 50. The reason I didn't buy off the 20 is because there wasn't really a lot of space right here between the 10 and the 20. And last time it didn't really bounce off the 20 either, and or the time before that. So I figured, hey, let's try it off of the 50, because right here it kind of, you know, tried to bounce off the 50. But anyway, NVIDIA, great bounce off the 50 EMA. Gorgeous looking move. Everyone's really excited and happy about that one. So right now, just slowly continuing higher. And what is also nice about NVIDIA is Thursday, the open and the high was the exact same, making this a shaved top candle. And then today, we opened above that high, which means this was a very nice, small, bullish gap and go on NVIDIA, which I could easily see continuing higher. I had a lot of requests for Etsy today, ticker symbol ETSY, and rightfully so. Etsy, ladies and gentlemen, was an obvious, very easy, simple to identify bullish gap and go. Gap action! Black candle gapping up like a boss. Check that out. Everyone who shorted anywhere below this line at 21.90 was trapped ridiculously bad, and they had no choice but to buy to cover. Here's the weekly chart on Etsy. And the weekly chart had some traders asking for really some targets on Etsy. And at this point, I mean, we're just going to go back to these previous highs. So there's a little bit of a target around 31.20, but I could easily see us getting back up to 35.56. And then from there, we'll probably rest. We'll probably pause. But you can see some really good volume spikes coming here on Etsy, and just some great bouncing. And again, that gap that occurred just a few days ago, a week or so ago on earnings, was beautiful, as it was just right above this resistance here at 21.89. Now, I do have some really good analysis on Etsy that was not too terribly long ago. Take this over here and again put this on the daily chart. I know my buddy Victor Gonzalez down there in Puerto Rico is just smashing Etsy, and I think Huberto and my good buddy Cristobal up here in New York City also play this one really well. I mean, if you trade down here to the daily moving average, you'll get a gorgeous hammer on the 6th, and then another hammer candle on the 9th. You had two opportunities to get down there on Etsy. Now, again, I didn't take that trade. I'm not in Etsy in any form or fashion, but you know, why not? It's just, it was a very good setup. Can't be in everything, but there's a lot of traders who are. And so this is when I mentioned back on September the 7th that Etsy would start recovering. And I also posted this one in the, I believe, the summer portfolio last year in the real life trading. Anyway, this is that big breakout. You can see a gorgeous retest here in October, a higher move, and then another retest just recently. So anyway, bottom line is Etsy, strong bullish trend, gorgeous gap and go right here. Buy the dip if you're not in on Etsy already. And for my buddy Brian, who is on Etsy, posted some great analysis on that one. Congrats, my friend. Got two more to look at. First is ticker symbol MU, Micron Technology. And Greg Hill has just been absolutely dominating this stock. We have been scorching Micron, as a lot of real life traders have been selling puts, buying calls, getting into shares, doing all kinds of bullish stuff that occurred really after this nice hammer-ish candle on the 9th. Then you had a new white soldier on the 12th, and you had a nice breakout candle on the 14th, retest candle, another bullish gap and go on the 23rd. And check this out. I mean, this is just technical analysis 101. Broke out of a resistance, retested, and bounced. Here's your exponential moving averages, and again, just traded right into the 10 and just bounced very, very nicely. So MU doing its thing. What else to do from here? Well, very simple. Trend is bullish. We made a new 52-week high today. So you have a retest gap right here. Buy into this dip, buy another dip into here, you know, something like this, and just set up that trade to get into some dips, get into some put sales, longer term shares, calls, whatever you're doing. Because realistically, the sky's the limit on Micron. I don't know exactly how high this is going to go, but this is the monthly chart. And I mean, could it go back up into the 90s this year? Sure, it's possible. Will it? Probably not the 90s this year, but maybe next year. I mean, the trend looks gorgeous. It's just a matter of time, though, before I think it slowly starts going higher. So yes, bullish on Micron for sure. And speaking of for sure and bullish, here is Square, ticker symbol SQ. One of the stocks that real life traders are most bullish on all around the world. I've been really talking about this one since its IPO. Been a big fan of it, and it did break out of that triangle. Look at that gorgeousness. In fact, it had earnings, and earnings weren't really an event. So earnings weren't really an event. They were kind of they came out, they were good. Stock didn't really gap that much. Square usually doesn't gap that much on earnings. But really, it broke out. It retested the triangle pattern with a very, very nice lower shadow, kind of like a bullish candle right here on the 1st of March. Then you had an inside day candle on the 2nd. I mean, this was a really obvious signal that we also talked about in the trading rooms. But getting in bullish above the high of that candle with a stop below that candle was the setup to play on ticker symbol SQ. And again, just a very, very nice breakout. New all-time highs today. My good buddy Brian Weber with a $55 March covered call, and my target for Q2 is 58.31. So if we don't get there by the end of March, which is actually very likely, that could end up becoming a Q1 target. But from here on Square, I mean, trend is bullish, same as before. Buy the dip, fantastic bounce off the 100, and I love it. I like taking trades when I'm with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, I'm back. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to tear up the Big Apple, and then I will be back in Nashville Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So between now and then, if you have any requests, feel free to throw them my way. Ladies and gentlemen from around the world, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. You rock. Bye.